shoot stuff when I come out, so I wouldn't be able to do that spatially. And then you also say, at 3 minutes in, the Chimera moves way more than 6 inches, meaning neither passengers nor Chimera can shoot. Yes, Dave, I know that it's your job to address or live with, but really? I actually looked back at the footage that you were talking about, because this was interesting. This is one of those rules where I had to actually find what you were talking about specifically. And the tank didn't move more than 6. He didn't. And also, there were 2 tanks that he moved up. And so maybe you thought that he moved one more than the other, because it actually, if you watch it quickly, it looks like he's moving 1 tank twice. But he's not. He's moving 2 tanks. And also, sometimes due to the quick editing, things are left out. So he could have moved it up 6, moved it a little more, and then moved it back. But because there's a lot of dead space sometimes at the end of clips, I cut it. So maybe it looks like he moved more than 6, but I know that he didn't, because I'm very careful when it comes to watching people move their models. I call them out sometimes on their movement, because you don't want people cheating, right? That's just not nice. He wasn't cheating. He didn't move at 6. It's all good. Thank you for sticking up for me, though. I appreciate it. Space Frisian. The gets hot thing around 4-minute mark from the Imperial Guard were also hits. So why did he re-roll those hits to hit again? And this is what, this is another comment regarding the same thing. Venerate Daniel. I'll say your name like that. A question to Dave and anyone else. Gets hot rule on page 31 says that a roll of AP... Okay, hold on. This is... Start again. Gets hot rule on page 31 says that on a roll of 1, the weapon overheats, it does not fire at the firing model, and the firing model suffers a wound. Normal saves apply. Then on page 20 of the rulebook, AP weapons first bullet point. If the AP value is equal to or lower than the model's save, then it is powerful enough to punch straight through it, and it gets no armor save. So seeing as a plasma weapon has AP2 in most cases, in all cases I believe, does this mean that the gets hot rule does not allow the save? This is my response to that. And basically what you're saying is, if I have a gets hot weapon, which is typically plasma, right, and I roll a 1, it automatically wounds me and I don't get to make a save. That's what you're inferring here. And so even if I were to be a Terminator, I would die from that. So I wouldn't ever be able to make that save. But it specifically states on page 31 in brackets, it says normal saves apply. So why would that be clarified if I would never be able to make a save, right? If I was even a Terminator and I wouldn't be able to make that save, then it shouldn't say normal saves apply, but it does. So I am able to make a save, whether my save is 2+ or 6+. If I have a gets hot weapon and the AP2 of that weapon, doesn't matter what the AP is, if it wounds me, I get to make my save. That's my logic there, okay? And that's one of those rules as intended things. And that's actually the first time I've ever heard that. But I had to address it because some people might think that that's correct, but it's not. Cassius. Now here's a question. On page 61 of the rulebook, under immobilized, there is an annotation. If a vehicle is immobilized and all his weapons are destroyed, then it's a wreck. So if a drop pod is already immobilized, shouldn't a weapon destroyed make it a wreck? Drop pod has a Stormbolter. So if it's immobilized and gets immobilized again, then the Stormbolter would be removed first before it's wrecked. If the Stormbolter is removed, then an immobilized result would be a wreck. Drago. Dave Mephiston's Unleashed Rage gives him preferred enemy, so you shouldn't re-roll against that Chimera. Page 75 of the rulebook says this under preferred enemy, and you are absolutely correct. I did that wrong. Cappy Kid. Dave, you have immobilized the tank. Shouldn't you get auto hits? Yes, I should have. and that's under page 63 of the rulebook. Immobilized gets auto hits. That's just what it says. It's pretty clear, right? King Crap. I love your name, dude. That makes me laugh. And there's a smile on my face. Hey, Dave, at 6 minutes and 50 seconds of this part 3, you say that Mephiston gets 5 attacks. It should be 6 on the charge, 4 base attacks, plus 1 for the charge, 1 for 2 single-handed weapons. As for page 42 of the rulebook, he has a pistol and a 4-sword. Other than that, love the Batrep. When I said 5 attacks, I was referring to his attacks without his plus 1 bonus for charging. And I looked at the footage, and I was saying it in response to what he said, because basically he was saying, you can't destroy my tank. And so my remark back to him was, 5 attacks. So that's just the exchange that happened there in the video. So. But you're right, he gets 6 on the charge. Chuck Cake. Dave, if you assault through difficult terrain, you are initiative 1. Frag grenades, my friend. Frag grenades. They allow me to not worry about that. Slick76. Dave, when you go over the rules for this Batrep, could you please explain the Blood Lance rules for a new Blood Angel / 40k player, please and thank you. Okay, Blood Lance. Page 63 of the Blood Angels Codex. This power is a psychic shooting attack. Extend a line 4d6 inches long from the librarian's base in any direction. This is the path taken by the Blood Lance. Any enemy unit in the Lance's path suffers a single Strength 8 AP1 hit with the Lance type. Friendly and enemy units locked in close combat are unaffected. The Lance darts over them before continuing on its course. And then page 32 of the 40k rulebook says, under Lance, it says, due to their unique nature, Lance weapons count vehicle armor values higher than 12 as 12. So if I shoot a Land Raider with 14 armor with a Lance weapon, the Lance weapon brings the 14 armor down to 12. That's how Lance works. So that's just simply reading it from the Codex, but in my own words, when I shoot Blood Lance from the Furioso, I draw a line 46 inches from the base, and anything under that line, in any direction by the way, so I'm going to try to get the most amount of enemies as possible. Any enemy unit, not model, it's any enemy unit that's under that straight line is hit with a Strength 8 AP1. And I roll, and it's hit, so I don't have to roll to hit, so I just roll for wounds. That's the nice thing about it. And it's a lance weapon, brings armor whatever down to 12. That's nice. That's how that works. That's the lance. Remember that. Lance weapons are brutal. They can destroy much. A whole much. Okay, Michael 098. I thought that dreadnoughts could not sweeping advance. Page 73 of the 40k rulebook says, walkers make sweeping advances, pile-in moves, and consolidations unless they are stunned or immobilized. So that's pretty clear. They can sweeping advance. Toda. Mephiston's plasma pistol is AP1, so it should have got a +1 and wrecked the vehicle. Before I answer that comment, someone else responded to your comment, and I'm going to read their response because I thought it was kind of funny. Steel Mage 99 says in response to Toda, why would you say something like that without looking it up? I mean, all the plasma weapons have AP2. So if I were to say that Mephiston's pistol was different, I would look it up and see that I was wrong. So it's just the exchange looked like it was kind of funny. But Toda, if you were honestly thinking that, then it's an honest mistake, then no problem. The plasma pistol is Strength 7 AP2. It's not a special plasma pistol, it's just simply a plasma pistol. And page 96 of the Blood Angels Codex, under the summary at the very back, says that. So, Vichy Sois. The Lehman Russ was immobilized. The Furioso Librarian should have auto-hit. Yep. You're right. There's a lot of references to that. Perhaps I Well, I clearly forgot if that was the case. So, better for him, right? Vigilante, since he was shooting his plasma over the terrain, you probably should have gotten cover save, Dave. I need to clarify this. So basically you're inferring that if a guy is shooting over cover, then whatever he is shooting at gets a cover save. This is incorrect, my friend. And page 22 of the 40K rulebook says this, and it specifies firing over a barrier. Models that are in base contact with a linear piece of terrain they can see over, such as a low wall, barricade, tank trap, or a fence, can fire at enemies on the other side without the barrier getting in the way of their shots. So, answers the question there. BizGF, I thought flamers were auto hits. You thought correct. If you saw it and it was not that case, then it was incorrect. Flamers do auto hit. Wasteland Warrior, my question is why didn't he re-roll his orders with Foxcaster? Even if his orders were out of order, he should have been able to try again after the boxcars. And Steel Mage 99 responds to him and says because they didn't have Voxcasters, and you're absolutely correct. Alpha Eric's, how do you keep getting to use Feel No Pain? It may just be my ignorance, but I don't see any models that you are using that offer that special rule. Page 89 of the Blood Angels Codex show that assault squads only have special rules of Descent of Angels and They Shall Know No Fear, combat squads, the Red Thirst. On top of that, page 75 of the 5th edition rulebook says if a model with this ability, but I don't see any that you are feeling that habit. I'm just getting into the game and want to learn correctly, so please explain this. Okay, legitimate question. On their own, they don't have Feel No Pain. Or Furious Charge, for that matter. Also, they don't have any of those abilities. My Sanguinary Priest has a special ability called Blood Chalice, and that basically means that any friendly unit within 6 inches of me, of the Sanguinary Priest, is granted Furious Charge and Feel No Pain. And I had Chaos Space Marines used as proxies to represent Sanguinary Priests in my army for this game. So that's why the Assault Marines had Furious Charge. Vichy Sois. Fiston jump packed into difficult terrain. Then he should have made that roll. And if he got a 1, he would have been wounded. So if he didn't, then I forgot. And you're correct. I rend like crazy. And your comment is, did Dave lose? Well, we all know that. And the reason why that comment was left is because on the original post of part 5, there was a mess up in the end of the video after it says pie plate. And it doesn't actually show who won or somebody getting pie plated. So that's what happened there. Scary also misplayed the trapped rule. You can move away other than doubling back to avoid the enemy. Those guardsmen should have been running through the space between the other squad and the table edge. Great game though, as always, make Deffy proud. And this is true, as per page 45 of the 40K rulebook. And the reason why that wasn't combed over is because we were in a rush for this game. In fact, we didn't even record the pie plate until a couple days later. It's kind of funny, eh? Like, we didn't even get to do that until later. So, thank you very much, Wargamers, for sitting through this long video. Close to a half hour of footage just explaining these rules, but there was 7 pages of rules that were misunderstood. Maybe that should be a new series. But I'm going to end this video because it's been long enough, but hopefully you've liked it, and hopefully you like more of these. I try to go through it as fast as I can, but the more rules that are in debate, I have to go over. I got to comb over it, right, just to clarify it. So thank you very much for leaving your comments, and I hope that you enjoyed this battle report, and look forward to more battle reports. I'll point out the Joe rematch because that's actually already filmed. So it's just a matter of time before that's edited into such a way where it looks like it's even more awesome than it is. It was a lot of fun. We played until 1:30 at night. So look forward to that, and actually 3 other battle reports other than that, because that's how many I've done since this one that you're watching. Thank you very much, and I'll see you.